Hello and thank you for watching this video, which is basically an explanation of the Mojo Mingle house rules, also known as event etiquette. By going through and understanding and following these house rules, you're going to be able to avoid antisocial behaviors when you come out to our events, which is going to improve your chances of achieving success at events. Success means something different for everyone when you come out and be social with us. For some people, it's as simple as actually being brave enough to come out to meet a whole bunch of strangers at a social event. It could be starting a conversation with someone new without being prompted. Success could be passing your details on to someone. And I guess the ultimate success for many single people who are looking for a partner is to actually find someone that they can start dating. So the house rules are based on the Mojo Mingle values, which are connection, integrity, health, diversity, and respect. So you'll see what I mean as we go through the house rules, how they refer back to these 5 values. So the first house rule is to be inclusive and friendly. So what does this mean? Basically, my suggestion is that when you come out to an event, if you can introduce yourself to at least 3 other people and put in the effort to get to know them. So this is also known as networking. By showing people that you're interested in what they have to say and by including people in conversations, it really helps to keep the positive vibe about the events. And that's what Mojo is all about, like having good energy. Yeah. Put in the effort to be inclusive and friendly when you come out to events. And look, I know that sometimes it can be quite intimidating to start up a conversation with a stranger. So most events usually start off with some kind of icebreaker, but I've also made a video which you should be able to find this if you do a Google search. Here's an example. Just type in Mojo Mingle YouTube. You'll be able to find, it might be on the 2nd or 3rd page, a video where I give you examples of how to start interesting conversations. So it'll make it much easier for you to approach a stranger if you've got those tools to use when you're approaching new people. So an example of not being inclusive, just so that you can avoid this, is if you've got a bunch of people standing around talking and you're leaving one person on the outer edge of the conversation and you're not really asking them questions and encouraging them to be part of the conversation. Just be aware that there are people who are probably less confident in inviting themselves into a group. So if you can make sure that you're looking for people to include in your conversations, that would be a really good start. The second house rule that we're going to look at is to have your mobile phone on silent and out of sight at events. And what does this look like? Well, our events are mobile-free zones. So if you need to take an important call or an important text has come through or you've been waiting on, news that someone's had a baby or whatever, then if you need to check your phone, I would encourage you to excuse yourself from the group. And this show of courtesy will be well received by everyone else who's at the social event, and it shows that you're respecting them, and it's also just an act of politeness. There have been events in the past where people have kind of zoned out of the conversation and started swiping or looking at Facebook on their phone, and that really kind of puts a bit of a block up or a bit of a wall up, and it makes those people less approachable. And it makes it hard for the group in general to include them in conversations. So try your best to stick to this rule. I know that our society these days has us so attached to our phones, but we're really going to work on developing our muscle for keeping our phones out of sight and on silent so that we can fully engage and be present and in the moment when it comes to meeting people at events and enjoying the activity that we've come along to be a part of and to share that experience with other people. So the next house rule is that I invite you to keep in touch with the people that you meet at events. But there's a very specific way to do this. So I ask you to give your contact details to people that you want to keep in touch with. Therefore, you're giving them the power to reach out when they're ready, if they're ready. But I do not want you to be asking anyone for their contact details or for their number. I've made a video to explain this further, and if you do a Google search, you can also find this video on the website. Once you watch this video, you'll understand why this rule is in place. You'll also understand that if you miss the opportunity to give your contact details to someone at an event, it's not the end of the world. You'll have a window of about 48 hours after an event to fill out a feedback form and request for me or Mojo Mingle to forward your details via SMS to someone that you met at the event that you may have missed the opportunity to give your details to, either because you were too shy or it just didn't seem like the timing was right. Keep in mind, you can give your contact details, but do not ask someone for their number. I highly recommend that you watch this video so that you understand why this rule is very important to maintaining a comfortable atmosphere at events and within our community. And also, I've made a suggestion for how you can go about sharing your details. You could have your business card ready, your name and number written on a piece of paper. And, if you've really had a good connection with someone at an event, just simply say, I really enjoyed our conversation. Maybe we can catch up another time. Here's my number. If they also felt the connection, then they can reach out to you after the event and all is good. I have had some people give their details out at events and not receive a phone call or a message after. And I've asked our coach that Mojo Mingle collaborates with, Anton, to give an explanation as to why someone might not be calling you or getting in touch with you after an event. If you want to know the answer, then again, do a Google search for the Mojo Mingle YouTube page and look out for this video and watch it. It's only like a minute or two long, but it might give you a better understanding of what's happening. The fourth house rule is that our events are smoke-free zones. I do ask that you abstain from smoking during the social events, and that's basically just to maximize your time spent being social. So people are paying to come out and meet you, to hang out with you, to enjoy experiences with you. But if you're off somewhere else having a cigarette, then you're denying them time with you. But of course, if it is necessary that you do smoke, then please do so well away from our group. And that's just to ensure that the Mojo Mingle members aren't subjected to secondhand smoke. And obviously, on the same note, Mojo Mingle events are also a drug-free zone. And this relates back to one of our core values, which is health. It's also polite not to subject people to secondhand smoke. Now, the fifth house rule is to simply be courteous. What might this mean? Well, there's a few different ways that you can exhibit being courteous, and one of them is to notify me or Mojo Mingle by Facebook Messenger or in an SMS if your plans change. So maybe you've got a phone appointment with me scheduled for your registration call, or maybe you've purchased a ticket to an event and you're running late or you can't make it anymore. If you can reach out to me, reach out to Mojo Mingle and let me know that you're unable to make the time or make it to the event, then that's going to be very well received. And this is just a show of common courtesy to not only myself as someone who does the admin work and the organising of events and the hosting of events, but to the other people who have rocked up to meet you at the events. Because, when people arrive late, it kind of disrupts the beginning of the event. So I also ask you to just avoid being a no-show, to arrive on time, and that helps to make sure that the beginning of an event runs smoothly in terms of being able to welcome everyone and introduce them to the other guests who are at the event. Now, it may be hard for you to believe this, but on two separate occasions when I was hosting social events, one person actually ordered a drink or food and left the event before settling her bill. And now I probably should have learnt my lesson the first time. This is just something that's happened, which has meant that I need to create a rule so it's clear for everyone that if you're ordering something at an event, then I really ask you to pay as you go so that by the end of the night, everyone's bills are settled and there's no confusion with who ordered what and then having to split the bill. Please bring cash when you come out to venues. Sometimes, the FPOS machine might not be working, or there's inevitably going to be some kind of problem. And if you've got cash on you, it just makes it a whole lot easier with, splitting bills and making sure that you've covered your costs. Okay, so just to summarize, the 5 house rules, also known as event etiquette, are number 1, to be inclusive and friendly. Number 2, have your mobile phone on silent and out of sight. Number 3, to give your contact details if you're interested in keeping in touch with someone, but do not ask them for their number. Number 4, events are smoke and drug-free zones. And number 5, please be courteous. Now, hopefully you can see how these house rules reflect the values of Mojo Mingle, which are connection, integrity, health, diversity, and respect. Now, I understand sometimes things happen, life gets in the way, and we're human and we all make mistakes. Inevitably, at some stage, you're going to accidentally break a rule here or there. So I'd like to introduce you to the 3 strikes policy, which you may consider as a kind of game. Now, the way that the 3 strikes policy works is very much like any kind of computer game, where you're going to have 3 lives, or in this case, 3 strikes. So if you fail to abide by a house rule, that is going to earn you a strike, or in computer game terms, a loss of a life. If you lose 3 lives, then you're out of the game. Same case here. If you earn yourself 3 strikes, your membership will be suspended, and usage and access to the services offered by Mojo Mingle will be revoked. This is just to encourage people to be very mindful of sticking to the house rules, because everyone wants to continue enjoying the benefits of being a Mojo Mingle member. And as I said earlier, by following the house rules, you're going to increase your chances of success, and everyone's going to have a great time at the social events. So that's all from me. Sorry this is a very long video. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I look forward to speaking to you soon and catching up with you at an event. Cheers!